Why was this ancient book banned from the Bible? And what secrets does it hold about angels, giants, and the end of the world? Are you ready to discover a shocking truth that could change everything you believe about the Bible? Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the mystery of the forbidden book that no one should read, the Book of Enoch. Imagine a time when the very foundation of your faith is challenged, when ancient texts reveal secrets that have been hidden for centuries. You won't want to miss this. But before we begin our journey into the enigmatic world of the Book of Enoch, let me ask you a question that might just change the way you see things forever. Have you ever wondered why certain stories, teachings, and even books like Enoch were left out of the Bible you read today? The answer might surprise you. Now let's turn back the pages of history and explore the compelling reasons behind the ban of the Book of Enoch. Picture this. The year is 325 AD. The Council of Nicaea is in full swing and early Christian leaders are gathered together. Their task: to decide which books will become part of the New Testament. It's a monumental decision that will shape the course of religious history. But as they discuss and debate, a group of influential bishops raises an important concern. They question the authenticity and divine inspiration of certain books, including the Book of Enoch. Why, you ask? Let's find out. Reason number 1, doubted authorship. Early Christian leaders began to doubt whether Enoch was truly written by the biblical figure Enoch, the great-grandfather of Jesus. Scholars like Jerome and Augustine argued that the book's writing style and content differed greatly from the rest of the biblical text. This discrepancy led to suspicions regarding its authenticity and consequently its inclusion in the canon. Enoch was known for his righteousness and his mysterious disappearance. Some believed he was taken directly to heaven without dying. This supernatural aspect of his life may have contributed to the mystery surrounding the book attributed to him. Reason number 2, non-canonical material. The Book of Enoch contains material that goes beyond the accounts found in the Old and New Testaments. It includes additional stories, teachings, and details that were not accepted as canonical by the early church. These non-canonical elements, such as the detailed descriptions of heaven and hell, were seen as potentially heretical and were considered a source of confusion rather than divine revelation. Reason number 3, alleged heresy. Certain parts of the Book of Enoch contain teachings that were deemed heretical by the early church. For example, the book mentions fallen angels and their interactions with humans, which some early Christians viewed as conflicting with the belief in the absolute purity of angels. These controversial teachings further fueled the debate surrounding the book's inclusion in the Bible. Reason number 4, fear of corruption. As the early church sought to establish a standardized set of books for all Christians to follow, they feared that allowing non-canonical books like Enoch could lead to the corruption of the true message. By limiting the canon to the books they deemed inspired, they aimed to preserve the integrity and purity of Christian teachings. Reason number 5, historical context. The Council of Laodicea, held in the 4th century AD, is believed to be the first council to officially exclude the Book of Enoch from the canon of Scripture. This exclusion was influenced by the growing desire for uniformity and orthodoxy within Christianity. As the Church moved towards defining its doctrines, it sought to establish a clear boundary between accepted and rejected texts. As we continue our exploration of the Book of Enoch, keep these reasons in mind. They offer valuable insight into the historical context surrounding the book's exclusion and the challenges it faced in gaining acceptance. Now let's uncover more fascinating details about this enigmatic text. But before we dive deeper, if you're eager to continue this journey and uncover more forbidden secrets, don't forget to subscribe. Join us in exploring the hidden mysteries that have been concealed from the world. Your curiosity is our inspiration. Let's unravel the truth together. Now let's delve into more about the book itself. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish text that was widely circulated in the early centuries of Christianity. Despite its exclusion from the Bible, it has captivated the interest of scholars, theologians, and readers alike. The book's main contents include the Book of Watchers, which describes the fall of angels and their interactions with humans. The Book of Noah, which provides an account of the flood from Noah's perspective. and the astronomical book, which discusses Enoch's visions of the heavens and celestial bodies. While not considered canonical, the Book of Enoch offers a fascinating glimpse into the religious and cultural context of early Judaism and the development of early Christian thought. Its detailed descriptions of heavenly beings, fallen angels, and apocalyptic visions provide a unique perspective on the beliefs and fears of the time period. Hey everyone, we've reached the end of our video on the mysterious Book of Enoch. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of ancient texts and forbidden knowledge, don't forget to show your support. Your engagement fuels our passion for uncovering more hidden secrets. Thank you for joining us on this eye-opening adventure, and we'll see you next time as we continue to explore the unknown. The Book of Enoch is a fascinating ancient text that predates the Old Testament. It was written between 300 BC and 100 AD, making it older than most of the books in the Bible. Despite its age and historical significance, it is not considered part of the biblical canon by most Christian denominations. The reason for this is that it was not included in the books that ultimately made it into what we know today as the Bible. The book is named after Enoch, the seventh patriarch in the line of Adam and the father of Noah. According to Genesis chapter 6, Enoch walked with God and was taken to heaven without experiencing death. The Book of Enoch tells the story of his life and his many visions, including his visions of fallen angels, giants, and the end of the world. The Nephilim are mentioned several times throughout the book, and they are described as powerful, destructive giants. These beings brought violence and sin to the world, and their presence corrupted humanity. According to Enoch, God sent the flood partly to destroy them. He also wrote about other fallen angels who taught humans how to make weapons, commit sexual immorality, and encourage them to rebel against God. The book also contains prophecies of judgment against the wicked, and it describes a final judgment, where the righteous are separated from the wicked. This is where things get really interesting. Enoch's visions include the binding of Satan by angels, the resurrection of the dead, and a new heaven and earth. Some scholars believe that these apocalyptic visions were the inspiration for the Book of Revelation. Interestingly, the phrase "Son of Man" appears several times in Enoch's visions, which Christians later came to believe was a prophecy of Jesus Christ. In fact, the entire passage has been interpreted as a messianic prophecy, describing a time when the Messiah will come in the clouds with 10,000s of his saints and bring judgment upon the world. Now, it's important to note that not all Christians believe that the Book of Enoch is a reliable source or that it contains actual prophecies about the Messiah. However, it is a fascinating text that offers a glimpse into the beliefs and expectations of early Jewish apocalyptic literature. It also provides valuable insight into the development of Christian theology and the influence of Jewish thought on early Christianity. For those of you who are interested in exploring this further, I encourage you to do your own research and read the book for yourself. You can find it online or in some religious bookstores. Just be aware that there are different translations and interpretations, and that some of the content may be graphic or disturbing. Imagine a book so controversial that if you read it, you'd be kicked out of church. A book so dangerous that it had to be banned. And yet this book is the very foundation of Christianity. Without it, we wouldn't have the Bible as we know it today. So what was this book and why was it banned? In the first century, the church was a very different place. The leaders of the church were very worried about people like the Gnostics, who were coming up with all sorts of heretical ideas about the nature of God and the world. These ideas were so dangerous that the early church leaders decided to remove certain books from the Bible. They believed that these books were too controversial and could lead people away from the true teachings of Christ. And so they created a list of books that would become the New Testament, leaving out any mention of the controversial ones. But despite this, some ideas still made it into the New Testament, such as the idea of fallen angels, giants, and hidden knowledge. These ideas were likely influenced by one book in particular, the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch tells the story of the fallen angel Azazel, who came down from heaven to earth and taught humans forbidden knowledge. This included the making of weapons, which led to wars and bloodshed. Azazel also taught them how to make talismans that could control the weather and cause all sorts of chaos. To make matters worse, he fathered children with human women, producing giants who terrorized the people. Eventually, Enoch, the man who the book is named after, confronts Azazel and demands that he and his sons be bound up in chains of darkness and thrown into the abyss. Now, this story may sound crazy, but it actually has some truth to it. Most Christians today reject the idea of fallen angels and giants, but there are some who believe that this is real history. In fact, many Christians believe that this book is the missing link between the Old and New Testaments. It reveals the spiritual history between heaven and earth that was lost when the Old Testament was written. The book was actually rediscovered in Ethiopia in the 18th century. It wasn't until recently that scholars got their hands on it and realized just how important it was. They now debate whether or not it's an actual book of scripture, inspired by God, or just an ancient myth. Either way, it's clear that this book had a huge impact on the development of Christianity. So why was it banned in the first place? Well, it comes down to one word: controversy. The ideas in this book are so strange and different from what most Christians believe today that it was seen as a threat. But is it really that crazy? Should we take a second look at this book and see what it has to teach us? If the Book of Enoch was never banned, would Christianity look completely different today? What other secrets might still be hidden in forgotten scrolls?